From satellite to battlefield in Arma Reforger with QGIS. Hey there, future map makers and digital conquerors. Rocket ever wondered how those incredibly detailed landscapes in games like Arma Reforger come to life? Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain and showing you how to harness the power of QGIS to transform real-world data into stunning virtual terrains. This tutorial is perfect whether you're a complete beginner eager to learn the ropes or a seasoned GIS pro looking to bring your skills into the game engine. Let's dive in. Before we start building, we need our raw materials. In QGIS, this means getting our satellite imagery and an elevation map, DEM, and making sure they speak the same geographical language by setting an EPSG code. Think of this as getting your blueprint and foundation ready before you even lay a brick. Let's start with the preparations in QGIS. Before we start, we need to set up some plugins so we can work in the same way. When we open QGIS and created an empty new project, we go to Plugins in the top bar and click Manage and Install Plugin. We search for the plugins: DB Manager, QuickOSM, Processing, Orfeo Toolbox Provider, HCM GIS, GRASS 8, GRASS GIS Provider, and Quick Map Services. After we prepared the plugins, let's start with adding a satellite map from the HCM GIS plugin. We click in the top menu bar on the HCM GIS plugin and select Base Maps, then click on the Bing Virtual Earth map. Now we have succeeded to add the base map. A flat map in Arma Reforger is, frankly, boring. To get those glorious hills, valleys, and dramatic cliffs, we need an elevation map, also known as a digital elevation model, DEM. This is a special type of raster image where each pixel's value represents its elevation above a certain point, like sea level. Government/public data portals. Many countries offer free DEM data. For example, in the US, you can find data from the USGS National Map Data Download. In Europe, the Copernicus Open Access Hub provides global DEMs, like DEM-GL30 or DEM-GL90. SRTM, Shuttle Radar Topography Mission, a widely used global DEM source, though its resolution varies. Once you've downloaded a DEM file, often in .tiff, .asc, or .hgt format, drag and drop it directly into your QGIS map canvas. You'll likely see it as a grayscale image, where darker shades represent lower elevations and lighter shades represent higher elevations. This is normal. You can right-click the DEM layer, go to Properties, the Symbology, and change the render type to single-band pseudo-color to get a more visually appealing representation with different colors for elevation ranges. Alright, awesome. You've successfully brought in your satellite image and your digital elevation model, DEM, into QGIS, and everything's correctly projected. That's a huge step. This is where the magic of focused area selection comes in. We're now ready to pick that perfect piece of terrain from your vast dataset. Think of it like a master chef deciding exactly which cut of meat to use for their masterpiece, rather than trying to cook the whole animal. Now that you've identified that perfect slice of the world you want to bring into Arma Reforger, it's time to mark it out with our digital cookie cutter, the bounding box. We'll create this as a new shapefile. Here's how you create that new shapefile in QGIS that will serve as your bounding box. In the QGIS menu bar, go to Layer, Create Layer, a new shapefile layer. Click the Browse button next to File Name. Navigate to your project folder where you're saving all your QGIS data for this project. Give it a clear name, something like Square 1. This will save as a ESRI shapefile. And click Save. Geometry type. This is critical. For a bounding box, you want a closed area. So, from the drop-down menu, select Polygon. Polygons are perfect for defining areas like our box. Coordinate Reference System, CRS. This is super important for ensuring everything lines up. It's best to use the same CRS that your project is already using, or the one you plan to reproject your main data to for Arma Reforger. Select in the selection bar the CRS. Using a consistent CRS prevents your box from appearing in the wrong place or being distorted later. And press OK. Now we created successful a bounding box shapefile. In the Layers panel, usually on the left side of your QGIS window, locate your new shapefile, Square 1 or whatever you named it. Right-click on this layer and select Properties. This will open a new window with all the settings for that layer. Navigate to Symbology. In the Layer Properties window, you'll see a list of options on the left. Click on Symbology. This is where you can adjust the colors, lines, and fills of your layer. At the top of the Symbology tab, you'll likely see a section with symbol layer types and below it, a preview of your current polygon, probably a solid color. Click on the option, Simple Fill. Look for the Fill Color option. Here you'll see the current color. Click the small down arrow or directly on the color itself to open the color picker. At the bottom of the color picker, you'll see a slider labeled Opacity. By default, this is likely set to 100%. Drag this slider all the way to the left until the value is 0%. You'll see the color preview become transparent. While still in the Simple Fill section, now look at the Stroke Style option. Click the down arrow or on the current line type. Select a line style with dashes, for example, dash, dot, or dash dot. This makes your boundary line much less intrusive than a solid line. Optionally, you can also change the stroke color to something noticeable like bright blue or red, and make the stroke width slightly thicker, e.g., from 0.26 mm to 0.6 mm, so it's clearly visible. A dashed or dotted line is perfect for indicating that it's a reference area and not a physical barrier on the map. Click Apply at the bottom of the Layer Properties window to see the changes immediately on your map without closing the window. Once you're satisfied, click OK to close the window. We need to talk about the dimensions of your map. This is a really important step when preparing your data for game engines like Arma Reforger. Game engines and graphics cards, especially for terrain, prefer or even require specific map sizes, often based on powers of 2. This is because of how computer memory and graphics processing units, GPUs, are designed to handle and subdivide textures and terrain data. Now let's draw the bounding box. First we click in the top menu bar at Screen and we search for Panels, and click Advanced Digitization. When we have the Advanced Digitization tab opened we can start drawing. Select your bounding _ box layer in the Layers panel. Click the Toggle Editing button in the toolbar. It looks like a yellow pencil. This puts the layer into edit mode, allowing you to draw new features. This unlocks the drawing tools for your layer. With editing enabled, select the Add Polygon feature tool from the toolbar. It looks like a polygon with a green plus sign, or sometimes just a green plus sign. We need to activate the Advanced Digitization feature to draw the line perfectly. Set the properties on snapping mode at 45-90 degrees. Now, look at your map canvas. Using your satellite image and DEM as a guide, carefully click around the area you've chosen for your Arma Reforger map. Click once for the first corner of your rectangle. Click again for the second corner. Click again for the third corner. Click the final corner. You don't need to close it perfectly, as the next step will do that. Right-click anywhere on the map to finish drawing the polygon. Click again on the yellow pencil. This will close the Edit mode, and click Save to save the shape. There are two primary operations we'll perform using your bounding box. Map to raster for your satellite, and GDAL warp for your DEM. With your bounding box precisely defining your desired map area, we now need to clip and process your existing satellite image and digital elevation model, DEM. This ensures that we only export the necessary data. Alright, Let's detail how to use the Map to Raster tool, found in the QGIS processing toolbox under Raster Tools, specifically focusing on setting the extent and the map units per pixel. The goal: to capture the visual appearance of your satellite image, and any other layers you choose to display with it, within your defined bounding box, and export it as a single, game-ready raster texture. Let's be sure that we deselect the bounding box so it's not visible in our screen. Search for Map to Raster, you'll find it under Raster Tools. Double-click to open the tool. Click the drop-down arrow next to the minimum extent to render field. From the submenu that appears, choose your bounding box layer. If you set the extent render field, we go look into the map units per pixel. In the map units per pixel field, manually type 1.0. This means every pixel in your exported satellite image will cover exactly 1 square meter on the ground. This precision is crucial for realistic terrain and object placement in your game. If we set the map units, we can set the output layer. Choose a location within your project folder and give it a descriptive name like satellite.tif. Select GeoTIFF as the format. Now we can run the tool by click on the Run button. QGIS will process the data, and once complete, your new satellite.tif raster layer will be added to your Layers panel and displayed on your map. You now have a perfectly clipped and high-resolution satellite image, ready to be imported into Arma Reforger as your ground texture. This file is precisely aligned with your bounding box and prepared with the ideal resolution for game engine use. Excellent! With your satellite texture beautifully rendered and clipped, you're now ready to tackle the terrain itself. This is where your digital elevation model, DEM, gets its final grooming for Arma Reforger, ensuring your virtual hills and valleys are perfectly shaped and positioned. For this, we'll use the powerful GDAL Warp Reproject tool. In QGIS, go to the Processing toolbox. Search for Warp Reproject. Or go to the top menu bar. You'll find it under Raster Projections Warp Reproject. Click to open the tool. In the Input Layer drop-down, select your Digital Elevation Model DEM layer. Set the Target CRS Output Coordinate System. This is crucial for Arma Reforger compatibility. Game engines, especially for terrains, often prefer projected CRSs that use meters as units and minimize distortion over the map area. Let's set the resampling method. This determines how QGIS calculates the new pixel values when it changes the resolution or reprojects the DEM. Select Cubic B-Spline for a good balance of speed and smoothness. We set the NO data value on -9999. Now we define the output file resolution. This sets the pixel size of your exported DEM. Just like your satellite texture, a 1 meter per pixel resolution is generally recommended for terrains in game engines for good detail. In the Output File Resolution field, type 2.0. Remember, a 1 meter resolution combined with your final map dimensions, like 2048 by 2048 pixels, will define the real-world size of your terrain, 2048 meters x 2048 meters. Our terrain is 4096 by 4096 meters. We will divide it by 2. It means that our elevation model becomes 2048 by 2048 pixels. We set the output extend again. This is where your bounding box comes in again. We need to clip the DEM precisely to the same area as your satellite texture. Select Calculate from Layer Extent. From the submenu, choose your bounding _box layer. This clips your DEM to the exact boundaries of your chosen map area, preventing unnecessary data export and ensuring perfect alignment with your satellite texture. Now we can set the output layer. Navigate to your project folder. Give it a descriptive name, like height map. Ensure the format is ESRI ASCII format. And click Save. And we run the Warp tool. And there you have it, virtual architects and digital commanders. You now have the knowledge and the tools to transform real-world geographic data into epic battlegrounds for Arma Reforger. From defining your area of interest with a crisp bounding box, converting your satellite imagery, to shaping your mountains and valleys with the powerful GDAL warp function, you've become a true world builder. Remember that the road from a blank canvas to a lively battlefield is full of experimentation. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. In GIS and game development, those are often the best learning moments, and sometimes the most hilarious. Dive deeper into QGIS, discover more data, and keep experimenting with the Arma Reforger editor. The only limit is your imagination, and maybe your computer's RAM. Winking face. Thank you for watching and joining me on this journey. If you found this tutorial valuable, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more adventures like this, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any new uploads. Now go forth and create those breathtaking worlds we all want to fight in. Until next time, and happy building your unique piece of virtual reality.